Hi everybody! Today I'm going to show you how to make the cupcake stand that is on my blog, and if you are happening across this video and you want to know where this cupcake stand project is, you can go to www.kimberly-crawford.blogspot.com. I have already done a bunch of the prep work so that you didn't have to watch me cut all the pieces, but I'm going to show you some of the important steps in this process. So what I've got so far is I have already taken 3 of my rectangles and I have cut the side ovals out of them, and I already have it assembled so you can see the base and the legs of the cupcake stand are already starting to come together. So I'm going to show you how to do the 4th one. So what I've done is I have taken from the Spellbinders the classic rectangles, just the standard rectangles, the large set, die number 5, the largest die. I've taken and cut that from white cardstock, and then I have scored it down the middle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an oval and I'm going to cut away this piece here. Okay, so make sure that you are doing it to the outside edge because the folds are all going to meet in the middle. So you want to make sure that you are cutting to the outside edge. Now you can see that I have a couple lines. I'm going to grab some tape here. I've got a couple lines on my ovals. What I did, because I knew I was going to need to cut these and I wanted to kind of have a template, is I took a Cupcake marker and I drew a line where I wanted this to be lined up. I decided that the outside of my marker line would be the outside of the line of paper. It's going to help me make sure that I get it in the same place every time. Now I might not get it perfect height-wise, but I'll be really close. And if you're worried about having lines on your markers, no big deal. Just take some Purell and when you're done and it'll disappear. Okay, so I'm going to tape this to hold this in place, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Now make sure on your magnetic mat or your white cutting sheet, depending on which wizard you have, you want to go ahead and make sure your cut edge is up. I'm going to put it through my machine. Okay, and I want to make sure that my handle is forward and that I put my plates over the Spellbinders, and I'm going to push. I'm going to bring my handle all the way forward, and then I'm going to crank. Now, okay, make sure you slow down at the end to control your exit. I'm going to run this again, and the reason is that I have 2 thick pieces of cardstock that I have to get through. So I'm going to just go ahead and run it again. Okay, so there I have got my pieces, and like I said, it's really thick. So there we go. I have my leg. So I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to hook this in here. Now, I'm just doing this for demonstrating purposes, as I've just got some quick adhesive in here. The real one I made, I used Score-Pel tape. I would recommend Score-Pel tape, red line tape, one of those seriously holding tapes. So what you want to do is you want to take the fold to the inside, okay, and it's really important to get the height because you need this to be level. So when I say height, you want to make sure that all the pieces are level here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push these in. Now when you do this, because you're doing this, you know, you're eyeballing it, you might get some edges that are not going to match up. I would go ahead and I would go in there and I would take some scissors and trim that. Okay, so now just fold it a little bit, play with it, and get it lined up the way you want it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is to get an extra support for my top, I am going to take a circle. This is from Standard Circles Large. This is die number 5. So if you start in the middle, the smallest die is number 1, count your way out, this is number 5. To give extra support, what I'm going to do is I am going to take and I'm going to glue this onto here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab some glue, and I would use a tacky glue, a very thick tacky glue. I like my Elmer's, this Craft Bond tacky, and I am going to just lay some glue along the top. And it looks like I have a glue ball here. And there we go. I'm just going to lay some glue right along the top. Back out so you can see. It's not very clean and delicate work here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this on here. I'm going to get it established right where I want it. I want to make sure that it's centered on all the legs as much as possible. And then what I'm going to do is to have gravity help it out. And I am going to do this. Okay, now you're going to get little glue, you know, splots all over. Just, you know, go ahead and get in there right now and clean them out. Okay, and then I would set this aside and let it dry for quite a bit of time.